So in my last video, I said this. Scalpers and quote-unquote tourists. Yeah, they suck. Fuck them. Moving on. The more I listen back to it, the more it kind of comes across as if I'm just dismissing scalpers at all. Now, I will say, overall, keyword, overall, I find the scalping issue in the Magic community isn't as big of a deal as it is in Pokemon. Considering I work first shift in retail, all the dipshits that I side-eye while walking into work are definitely there for Pokemon and not Magic. That being said, no matter what fandom or hobby, scalpers are definitely a big problem anywhere you go. Seriously, you people are a fucking scourge. And while I have no problem getting my hands on set boosters, play boosters, commander decks, or bundles, I'm not even going to make an attempt at going after anything collector's boosters related or anything secretly related. At least without having to outpace all the pests before they infest the market. Like, I'm sure you watching this probably remember the fiasco with the whole Goblin Storm Secret Lair commander deck. An already overpriced $200 deck that people were starting to flip for 3, 4, even 5 times the amount. Just for the sake of taking advantage of the collectors who buy into FOMO, the fear of missing out on an exclusive product. Now, the concept of FOMO wouldn't be an issue in the first place if Wizards of the Coast would just fix their ordering system for Secret Lairs. The whole idea of waiting in a virtual line is complete bullshit, especially with how scalpers can just fill them with bots. To the point where real people will be lucky if they don't get booted out of line, which I feel can at least be controlled if it was more of a made-to-order system. As I've said before, I took a hiatus from Magic between 2018-ish to about 2024. And I guess shortly after I started my hiatus, that's when Wizards of the Coast started their Secret Lair series. For as long as I've been back into the game, it's always been that bullshit queue system. But I guess before that, it was an actual made-to-order system. And I just have to ask, what exactly made WotC change their decision on going from a made-to-order system to the bullshit we have today? Oh, well, looks like they actually answered that question back in February. Alright, WotC, you better have a good fucking explanation for this. Because it's better for business? Oh, fuck off! Reading this a bit further, one of their biggest issues was apparently being left with a bunch of dead stock afterwards. Like, I'm not gonna pretend I know how business and sales work, but couldn't you just discount them, write them off on your taxes, and call it good? I feel like regardless, the cards that still end up in the market, and WotC still makes their money. Now, I know regardless of what system WotC uses for their Secret Lairs, there's gonna be a scalper who's gonna get their greasy fucking hands all over it. But at least with the made-to-order system, real collectors were still able to get their hands on their product. And any possible dead stock that can go back out to the general market can at least prevent all the aftermarket pests from taking as much advantage as they currently do. Enough product circulating in the market can at least put aftermarket prices in check for a bit. Or at least that's the idea of one can hope for. I mean, like I said, I'm not a market expert or anything. But one thing that I do know is that if WotC just pulled their heads out of their asses and went back to the made-to-order system, that I, along with an increasing number of players and collectors, would definitely be a lot more encouraged to pursue these Secret Lair drops when they release. And I can definitely speak for myself when I say that I can at least be less of a cynical asshole about it. That way I can say the scalping situation for Magic isn't as bad as it is for, like, live concert tickets. Because right now, Wizards of the Coast seems to have the same attitude as Live Nation and Ticketmaster. Completely apathetic because they get the bag one way or the other. And as a result of that attitude, we have FOMO and all the scumbags who benefit. So up until now, I've only talked about Secret Lairs with scalpers. Yet earlier, I also mentioned anything collector's boosters related. In all fairness, it really seems like scalpers just go after the universes beyond collector's boosters, while collector's booster products for in-universe sets seem to be high demand for actual players and collectors. This may be coming from the perspective of someone who just visits his local shop every week, but the market for collector's booster sets seems to be in better shape than most Secret Lair sets. Although either way, it still doesn't make them any less hard to get. But still, at least I can be optimistic of something. So before I go, I kind of want to circle back to the beginning of this video when I referenced the last video. Because what I said then wasn't just about the scalpers, it was also about the tourists. Now, while I find tourists annoying as fuck, and cite them as the reason why we keep getting all this Universes Beyond slop, Their presence seems to remain on Reddit and Facebook comment threads. In terms of dealing with them in real life, it seems they just stay in their mom's basement, so they don't really matter to me. Alright, I'll stop the shit talk. And with everything being said, I think I'll just end the video right here. I actually got some other video ideas and topics that I'd like to discuss in the near future, so if you want to see more of my dumb ramblings and opinions nobody asked for, make sure you go ahead and hit subscribe on the channel. Like I said before, my content moving forward will be mainly commentary about Magic the Gathering, D&D, maybe Warhammer if a topic pops up that interests me, but I've kind of been out of the loop of that for the past year or so now. I mean, I still got my Necrons, but they've just been kind of sitting on the shelf collecting dust. Especially with 11th edition rolling around, I really need to break those bad boys out. But with that being said, I'm not gonna get rid of the old guitar-based videos on the channel. But as for my music activity, I mean, I play in a band called Dark Eater, and just like last time, I'm using our demo music for the background music of this video. And while I don't have any socials that I would give out to follow, if you do enjoy the screaming shit nobody likes, be sure to follow Dark Eater on Instagram, Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel, so check us out over there. But until the next video, my name's Malachi, and I will see you later.